I need to share this experience. The memory still keeps me up at night, and the weight of it has become unbearable. It was last summer, during one of those oppressive nights when the air hung heavy and electricity crackled in the atmosphere. The idea of urban exploration had always fascinated me, and a group of friends shared the same curiosity. We yearned for a thrill, an adventure that would break the monotony of our everyday lives. Little did we know, we were about to step into a nightmare. Whispers of the abandoned amusement park had circulated throughout our small town. Its once colorful attractions had fallen into disrepair, and the stories that surrounded it were steeped in darkness. Tales of ghostly apparitions and lingering spirits left us with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The park had been closed for years, its gates chained and rusted, but its haunting reputation persisted. Driven by a mixture of intrigue and a desire for an adrenaline rush, we gathered on that fateful night. The park sat on the outskirts of the town, its location enveloped by dense forests, which only added to its eerie allure. As we approached, the desolation that clung to the surroundings became palpable. The faded sign that once proudly announced the park's name had lost its luster, almost as if it too had succumbed to the weight of the secrets within. With flashlights in hand, we cautiously ventured past the decaying entrance gates. The darkness swallowed us whole, and an unsettling silence settled upon us. The moonlight struggled to penetrate the thick canopy of trees that encased the park, casting eerie shadows that danced upon the cracked pavement. The air was thick with anticipation, a collective breath held as we stepped into the unknown. Our exploration led us through a labyrinth of forgotten memories and decaying structures. The ghostly remnants of once vibrant rides stood as skeletal structures, twisted and warped by the relentless passage of time. The creaking of rusted metal and the distant scurrying of unseen creatures were the only sounds that punctuated the stillness. Each step felt heavier, as if we were trespassing upon hallowed ground. As we split up to cover more ground, a sense of unease began to gnaw at the edges of our consciousness. Whispers of the past seemed to linger in the air, carried on the wind. We shared glances, a silent acknowledgement of the rising tension. But we pressed on, drawn deeper into the heart of the park by an invisible force that refused to release its grip. Amidst the dilapidated remains, one structure beckoned to us. The old funhouse. Its faded paint and broken windows exuded a haunting charm. As we cautiously approached, the atmosphere changed. The air grew heavy as if charged with a malevolent energy. The funhouse stood as a mausoleum of distorted mirrors, warped reflections that seemed to mock our presence. Heart pounding in my chest, I stepped inside. The stench of decay permeated the air, mingling with the scent of forgotten dreams. The flickering light bulbs cast unsettling shadows upon the cracked walls, distorting reality and leaving us disoriented. Whispers, faint but unmistakable, began to echo through the maze-like corridors, as if the very walls held secrets too terrible to be contained. Compelled by an invisible force, I followed the ethereal whispers, my pulse quickening with every step. The laughter of children, both distant and hauntingly close, intertwined with the whispers, enveloping me in a symphony of unease. The air grew colder, chilling my skin, and goosebumps rose along my arms. Finally, at the end of a narrow corridor, I caught sight of a figure, partially shrouded in shadow yet unmistakably present. Its form seemed to flicker, ethereal and insubstantial. Its eyes, 2 points of luminescence, locked onto mine, piercing through the veil of my soul. A voice hushed and filled with ancient sorrow whispered my name. Time stood still as the figure moved towards me, gliding with an otherworldly grace. Fear rooted me in place, rendering me unable to escape its advance. The temperature plummeted and a suffocating darkness closed in around us. Its whispers grew louder, echoing with an intensity that threatened to engulf my sanity. With a surge of willpower, I managed to break free from the grip of fear. Panic propelled me backward, my feet stumbling over the uneven ground. I burst out of the funhouse, gasping for air as if I had narrowly escaped a suffocating embrace. As I stumbled back to my friends, their wide-eyed expressions mirrored the terror I had experienced. We fled the abandoned amusement park, our hearts pounding and our minds haunted by the encounter with the supernatural. The whispers, the laughter, and the ethereal figure would forever linger in the depths of our memories, a reminder of the darkness that hides in forgotten corners. To this day, I struggle to make sense of what we encountered. What malevolent presence had claimed the abandoned amusement park as its twisted domain? I can't help but wonder if the stories were more than just rumors, if the spirits of the past truly walked among the dilapidated attractions. I share this tale as a warning. The allure of abandoned places may tempt us, but we must tread carefully, for some mysteries are better left undisturbed. The abandoned amusement park holds secrets that defy explanation and unleash a terror that can only be experienced to be believed. May our paths never again cross with the haunting specters that roam the desolate grounds of the park.
As I drove through the decaying entrance of the old Whispering Pines amusement park, the eerie silence amplified the tight knot of apprehension in my stomach. I'd always been a magnet for the bizarre and mysterious, but standing on the threshold of this forgotten relic, I had no idea that tonight would etch a horrifying chapter in my life. My journey began just after sunset, under an overcast sky that seemed as desolate as the park itself. Rusty Ferris wheels stood like a skeletal dinosaur against the creeping dusk. Wilted streamers fluttered like defeated spirits in the wind, and dilapidated carousels spun sluggishly in the breeze. The place was a haunting illustration of joy and laughter turned into sorrow and despair. As I walked through the park, a cold wind swept past, carrying an unsettling melody of broken music that seemed to emanate from a distant carousel. I followed the sound, my curiosity getting the better of me. The spectral music led me to a once majestic merry-go-round, now a ghost of its former self, its painted horses chipped and faded, its music box discordant. Despite the lack of power in the park, the merry-go-round spun slowly, creaking eerily in the wind. Overcome with a strange fascination, I tentatively reached out to touch one of the wooden horses. The moment my hand made contact, the music box let out a screech, and the world around me swirled into darkness. When my vision cleared, I found myself surrounded by the same carousel, but in its heyday, vibrant, grand, and full of life. Laughter and carnival music filled the air. The wooden horse beneath my hand was now glossy and newly painted. As I reeled in disbelief, the park-goers around me faded, their laughter turning into cries of horror and despair. The air seemed to shimmer, and then suddenly I was back in the deserted park, only now under the specter of an eerie green glow, highlighting the silhouette of the dilapidated Ferris wheel. From the corner of my eye, I saw shadowy figures milling around. At first, I thought they were echoes of the park's past, mere apparitions. That was until they turned towards me, their hollow eye sockets staring right into my soul. Frozen in horror, I felt an icy hand grasp my arm. I turned around to face a spectral girl, her face pale and distorted, her eyes brimming with tears and anguish. She pointed towards the Ferris wheel, her silent scream echoing in the air. I looked where she pointed and found a silhouette hanging off one of the Ferris wheel's carriages. I don't remember much of what happened next. All I recall is the desperate need to escape, to run as far as I could from the spectral figures that were now closing in on me. As I sprinted towards the entrance, the whole park seemed to come alive with ethereal wails and horrifying images of the park's haunted past. The chilling experience in the Whispering Pines amusement park forever etched itself into my memory. Even now, years later, I can still hear the distant, discordant notes of the broken music box and the chilling wails of the spectral figures. The horrifying past that the abandoned park harbored was a grim reminder that not all places of joy and laughter retain their innocence once abandoned.
That's all for now. However, we extend an invitation, wrapped in the cloak of intrigue, for you to join us as we journey into realms of deliciously spine-chilling exploits. So, if you enjoyed this story and want to hear more like it, please subscribe now. Thanks and see you next time.